Good morning and welcome to Samadhi Game. And today we're going to be processing. We're going to be doing some Enlightenment with Squares process. We haven't done this for a while. We've been on the high road of affirming our truth, our love, our beauty, our wisdom, our joy. All over the holiday seasons we've been looking at Thanksgiving and gratitude, and then the manifestation of the Christ within us, that light that is able to find the neutral witness between all opposites, the observing eye of this Christ, this Krishna, this Buddha self that we all have within us. We've really affirmed that quite prominently over the last couple months now. And today we're going to take a turn. We've taken a turn into the new year. In this new year, we've all taken our vows, our New Year's resolutions, our vows of a sort, of what we're going to do this year, how we're going to live, what we're going to do in order to better ourselves. And one of the things that we need to do, it's hard work to actually get that to manifest, to get that vow to come into fruition, to actually come into focus in the physical plane. And one of the ways that we have to do that and become really aware of this dual human ego that we're processing is to use the Enlightenment with Squares process, which is, pretty clearly defined in Samadhi Game Manifesto. So download your Samadhi Game Manifesto and check it out. It's Chapter 2. We're going to be going into Chapter 2 today. We're going to do a couple mantras to start off the flow of events, and then we're going to move right into this Chapter 2 and let that flow. I've posted today what we're going to be processing is shame and blame. I'd like to actually play something for us all. Let me see if I can find it here on Facebook. It's pretty cool. It was a post that was done by Bob Atkins, a cousin of mine. And he put this up about a young girl who wrote a song about blaming others. I thought it was quite precise. I'd like to play this for us all. And let us check it out and see what she has to say about blaming and how we take more responsibility for that. So I'm going to play correctly here. I'm going to go back to it and have it come online here for a second. Okay, here it goes. See if we can get it here.
Maybe someone who dated Taylor Swift
and here we go.
should sing a song.
I'm going to take it back to the beginning now.
So this song goes out.
Okay, here it goes.
So recently, Tumblr mentioned that maybe someone who dated Taylor Swift should sing a song called Maybe You're the Problem. So this song goes out to Taylor and Adele and every other female artist on the radio who won't do anything but write breakup songs, and every other female artist on the radio that won't do anything, or that isn't on the radio that won't do anything but write breakup songs, like myself. I've written far too many breakup songs, and I'm ready to break the habit. So I wrote this song called Maybe You're the Problem, and yeah, I'm going to play it for you. It's on ukulele right now, but I don't think it's going to end up being on ukulele. I don't know. I just used ukulele to write it, so. It's a little out of my range, too. I might have to retune this, but I just wanted to let you know this is happening. You dated one too many assholes. You keep saying all men are the same. Been cheated on by every single boyfriend, running around trying to find someone else to blame. You say you couldn't imagine the outcome would ever possibly be this way. You wear your heart on your Facebook. It's no wonder it's so easy to break. But little girl, I've got something to say. Honey, maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the issue. Maybe if you didn't just press repeat, you'd wind up needing fewer tissues. You're the wrong girl. You can't just solve men. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. dated one too many douchebags, God, you sure know how to pick your poison. Maybe if you paid attention to where you're going, you would learn to make better choices. You say you can't predict the future, you don't have a crystal ball. Can't imagine spending my life with such a fucking know-it-all. If you walk around with a full of your eyes, you're bound to trip and fall. Honey, maybe you're the problem, maybe you're the issue. Maybe if you didn't just press repeat, you'd wind up needing fewer tissues. You're the wrong girl, you can't just solve men. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. I've been there, I've made mistakes. I've fallen in love with people I hate. Pretentious dicks that stand me up. But here's to having better luck. Oh, honey. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the issue. Maybe if you didn't just press repeat, you'd wind up needing fewer tissues. You're the wrong girl, you can't just solve men. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. So yeah, there's the song. Hooray! I probably look like I had soulless computer eyes the whole time because my computer is reflecting in my glasses. So here's to soulless computer eyes. And yes, hope you guys have a good day.
Great. So we're starting today with a sort of a controversial.
I'm a little high, right? I am, right? Wait, not high.
Well, that's
like
good.
That.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this one's better.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah.
'Cause I know I
Good. This is softer.
Well, no, I'm that's a low. Hey.
That's better.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good. You're.
Okay, we're exploring today the issues of blame and shame, and we're looking at the dual human ego. We're actually starting to do a little bit of hard work around the issues of our dual human ego, rather than simply affirming our divine identity, which is great. And it's wonderful that we've done this over the last couple months. We've really looked at it. But we haven't really done any squares work. And I thought today would be really good to do this. And I started off with this description of blaming and shaming. It seems like this young woman who we just heard her sing has discovered or seen that there's quite a few female artists that are writing songs about blaming their partners for their breakups. And as much as we can find blame in others, there's also three fingers pointing back to ourselves whenever we point a finger at someone else. So I think she's honing in on something about taking responsibility. And I wanted to play this today because we really do need to take responsibility
And stop blaming.
and stop blaming. Stop blaming, no matter how awful it may seem.
Hey, we chose the people.
Yeah.
We were with those people for at least a year before. I mean, if it's 2 minutes before, that's another thing. But if, a year before, if somebody is a narcissist,
Yeah.
and you don't recognize it from the beginning, they don't. A leopard doesn't change his covers. Oh, now I'm going to be a narcissist.
Exactly.
So
and I think that if we are not seeing what we're seeing years later, we need to sharpen our attention, our skills, so that we can see clearly, who it is that we're with.
And you can plead the fifth and stop talking bad about them and just realize, gosh, I made a mistake. You know,
Right.
sometimes you go into the store and you think, okay, maybe this will be better when I buy it. When you come home, it just tastes awful.
Mm-hmm.
You have to realize, who made was it the cheese problem? That it tasted horrible?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was our choice of making the choice.
Yeah.
Don't blame the cheese. The cheese is not a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's a cheese.
Yep. So so we can take responsibility by doing this Enlightenment with Squares process. It really does help us hone our skills. I published, if you happen to be able to get the chat on ustream.com, I published a link, and I also published the link on my Facebook site underneath the link for the work today, the broadcast that I put on Facebook and on Samadhi Game Tribe. There's two links that take you to Samadhi Game Play, which is a website that's dedicated to the finer or deeper work that we can do with the Samadhi Game Manifesto. It takes us into we really do a lot of Enlightenment with Squares process there, which is kind of a hard thing to do. It's hard to look at the dual human ego. It's hard to fess up.
They said a fool despises correction, but a wise man heeds. To understand that you made a mistake, it's a hard nut to swallow.
It is.
But it's so much easier to say, narcissist, asswipe, all those horrible things, but just walk away.
So let's go. Let's take us to. I want to take us to Samadhi Game Tribe. Let me see if I can get us there for a second here online. I'm going to take us right onto the line here so you can see. This is my Facebook that I'm going to show you here for a few moments. You'll see here on Facebook, Gregory Brinkley Facebook. This is my post for today for today's show that we're doing right now. Processing blame and shame, the hard but necessary work of becoming aware of the dual human ego. And you'll see right underneath that there is a link, controversial picture, called Processing Blame and Shame at. And then all you have to do is press on this link here. See if I can get it to come over here. Let's see.
Press on it.
Press on it. You press on that link, and it takes you to this page, which is called, let me get it into the square here.
Oh, goodness
Yeah, hello.
gracious.
Neutral Witnessing of Blame and Shame, Processing the Dual Human Ego. It says, become aware of your shadows. I'm going to read this because I think, it's just, clear what we're doing on this website. Become aware of your shadows. Make your comments to the 4 posted threads, beginning with processing a square, blame, and shame. Add to and reemphasize the list of reasons, the payoffs to each post that you fear and desire for blame and shame. Start processing, neutral witnessing now. We will start the processing work, and then I explain the times. Posted are the 4 threads below, each quadrant of the Enlightenment with Squares process. Please go to each thread below and add your take on the frequencies of each quadrant of the square. If you have any questions about this, you can also add them to this page, and we'll try to answer the questions about how this works or why it works. I'm going to page down a little bit here, go farther down so you can see how it comes into play here. It says, the quality of samadhi that brings, the quality of samadhi, this is the last thing that we do actually. We'll do this one here. Desire for blame. So we spread out. I'm going to take us back to here for a second. This is for all of those who haven't done this before. The process is to take a piece of paper and draw 4 squares on it. And then in the upper left-hand corner, you say desire for blame. The upper right-hand corner, the fear of blame. The bottom left-hand corner, the desire for shame. The bottom right-hand corner, the fear of shame. And then we begin to fill in these 4 squares with each of these qualities, these frequencies of the dual human ego, which we figure out. We actually look at it and recognize them. So we start with desire for blame. I'm going to take us to the page. We can actually do this on Facebook as a group. And so underneath the desire for blame thread, Robbie this morning sat down at her computer.
We did. We did it at breakfast.
We did it at breakfast. We helped each other, and we wrote down some ideas that came to us. And it's good to look at these things. And then when you do them together with someone else or a group like this online, it actually helps, because we have blind spots within ourselves that don't want to see certain aspects. And that's why this is a great process. We can actually bring these blind spots to the fore.
Neutral witness has a help.
Yeah, the neutral witness is one, and it manifests itself through all of us in a slightly different way. So our perspectives, they come together and create a united whole. So this is what Robbie and I came up with. And Robbie's going to write some of these down on the paper so we can see what it looks like when it's processed on paper rather than just on Facebook. But here, if we come together, we can do it here. So what we came up with was take the worry off. The desire for blame is, we can take the worry off of ourself by blaming someone else. We can release the guilt from ourselves by blaming someone else. We can throw the other person off. I mean, there might be a strategic thought there saying, well, if I blame this other person, it's going to throw them off. They're going to feel momentarily shocked and not be able to respond intelligently. They might go into a spiral of anger or frustration because we've blamed them, and we might actually want that at some level. Robbie, who lived in Croatia for a while, has had a little bit of experience with
narcissism.
Narcissism and communism.
No, but communism.
And
What
and
they
so
call chauvinism.
Chauvinism, and so she said communistic. So,
it was.
And the idea is to share. I'm going to bring us back here so we can see us here. The idea with these squares is to share what comes up for you. Not to deny it and not to think, well, maybe I'm wrong by saying this, but really try to, what comes up for you when you think the desire for blame? And this communistic system would rather offload the blame to someone else.
They did it.
Yeah.
And then they deplete the food and news, propaganda, and shelter or heat. And then the people believe the government said, hey, they're guilty. So then they go to war with so-and-so.
Yeah.
So you really can create, if you show that yourself is such a depressive person, and all of a sudden he did it, all your friends are going to hate him. Mm-hmm. So then you feel better because then you handicap yourself, because then you can never say, gosh, maybe I did something wrong.
Yeah.
Because then you have you have disciples behind you. True.
It's so true.
And you can never say, you know what? It's really hard to say, you know what? Maybe we were both guilty.
Yeah.
And we just decided to call it quits.
Blame and shame is an easy way of creating separation, of separating people in groups so they can't come together and realize the oneness of the neutral witness that exists between them all.
It's so healing to get it off your shoulders that, gosh, everything is good, and I'm not a poor imp.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels good not to be a poor imp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It does. So let's go on. Let's give a few more of these reasons too.
Throw the person off. Then
throw the other person off. We didn't do it. They did. Look, So it takes the attention off of yourself to blame someone else. It's like you may have some responsibility here, but you're not wanting it. So you say that one did it over there. It takes the attention off of you, and then you can go and continue to do your ill-fated actions, and no one will see you because they're looking at someone else. Easy way. It's the easy way out. You shove off the responsibility. You offload. You transfer the load. You look perfect yourself. You can place yourself on a pedestal and say, I have the ability to judge. Mm-hmm. I have the ability to judge, and I will judge the other. But, as Jesus said, judge not, lest you be judged. So you look better. It seems like you look better yourself. So that's the idea. As we've written these things down here, and then you can come online and you can click into this, write a comment under this thread, desire for blame, and you can add things. You can add your way of saying.
Like what would you add right now?
Yeah,
you can add something.
I would add, pedestal. You put yourself on a pedestal. How do you spell pedestal?
Pedestal.
Pedestal. Okay. Put yourself on a pedestal, and then you just hit return, and there it is. Now it's put yourself on a pedestal. So now we see that I have added something to this personally, and so now Robbie has, and I have, and maybe Barbara will, maybe Lenny will, maybe a few of our other guests on Samadhi Game today will come online and check out this link and add something and become a part of the conversation that says we're going to take responsibility rather than blaming and shaming. We're going to take responsibility for this. So let's go to the next part of the quadrant, the fear of blame. Why do we fear blaming? Why do we fear? Let me get it in there. That's it, right there. This morning, Robbie and I came up with, and you can see it written there on the screen, guilt. You fear that blame because it just transfers so much guilt upon you. Oh my God, I'm guilty. Oh God. Or you fear blame for the reaction that you have to it. And we didn't write that down, but I could write, I'm reading this here and I can see that it's not there. So, I might overreact. Overreact. So I write it down and I'll put a comma because there might be other things that I think of too. Guilt, loss of loyalty. The person that's blaming you, all of a sudden you fear this. You fear to blame someone because you fear that that person that you're blaming may see that you've become disloyal or unloyal to them. So, and you may lose a friend if you blame them of something. You may lose a group of people, or a group of people may think, oh my God, he's blaming someone, so you'll lose a bunch of friends. You're being a tattletale. You're being a narc. You're becoming alienated by blaming, by speaking what you feel to be the truth. To be revealed, you could be revealed as holier than thou. You could be getting reprisals. You could yourself get rebuked because of what you could have done wrong. So the fear of blame runs deep, and as I said right here, you could overreact. This fear of blame could be that you would lose your clients. Lose clients. Oh, okay, yeah. Lose clients. So thank you. So you could lose clients, you could overreact, you could, the fear of being blamed is the fear of taking responsibility. Fear of, sometimes I just do fear of as a FO, fear of taking. I'm not doing this very well. Let me just spell check. Response. I can spell it.
You did it right.
Responsibility. Responsibility.
You're
there.
Good. You did this before.
Okay. So fear of taking responsibility. So you can see then I press the return key and there it is. It's online, ready for a group interaction rather than just me alone doing a square. And then anytime anyone comes online, they can look at this and they can say, "Hey, look at this. This is actually something that has been being processed right now." So yeah, we're not poor imps. We're not. We are good enough to actually live in a. I'm reading some
Thanks,
of the.
Barbara.
Thanks, Barbara, for these comments online. I appreciate that. Let's go on and process the other square here, the desire for shame. The desire, when I think of blame, I think of it as being, let me come back to the screen here for a second. I think of blame, I'm in this square, I'm thinking of blame as being a proactive side where someone is actually blaming someone else.
They take the weight off their own shoulders.
Yeah, when I think of shame, I think of someone being burdened by shame. So that's something that you're receiving.
A desire for shame.
Yeah, the desire to receive shame is like the desire to be
Isolated.
the desire. Yeah, I think that. Let me go down here to the desire. Where is it? I thought I had it. Oh, there it is. Okay. The desire to be isolated. The desire to show heroism, to be a martyr, to piss off others, to get attention. These are the things that we wrote. So let me just put it here on the screen so you can see it for a moment. Desire for isolation, desire to humiliate enemies, show heroism, be a martyr, to piss off others, to get attention. So you can take the shame. You want that shame because it draws attention to yourself. You want that shame because maybe you feel guilty and you feel guilty, and the shame will be your repentance. So you can write that in there, and shame will be your repentance. So there's all sorts of vibrations. These are all frequencies of the dual human ego that come up and say, this might be good. This might be the payoff that I get for getting shamed. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are reasons that we take on, there's frequencies that we take on these negative qualities. Mm-hmm. I mean...
Because, I mean... Sometimes you just want to be alone, so it's okay to say, I did it.
Yeah.
And then people leave you alone, and then you can be quiet for the next 25 days until they realize, she didn't do it. Or
I'm not only did she do it, but I did it too. We're all responsible. We're all culpable. We all have to stand up to the plate and say, you know what? There's a better way of hitting the ball. Let's all do it together. And that's what this Enlightenment with Squares process can do for us. It can actually bring us together and say, I did that before, yeah. And you know what? There's a better way of doing it. We can see it as the neutral witness rather than being just guilt-burdened by it. So then let's go to the other square. We had the desire for shame, but we also fear shame. What does shame do for us? Why do we fear shame? Well, let's go to it and take a look. It's embarrassing. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. When you get that shame dumped on you, when you get blamed and you begin to feel shamed, it's embarrassing. You want to slink into a hole. And you can write that down. You can say, slink into a hole. And then you just, press the return key. Let us all see what it is that you're thinking. You fear shame. Because it's loss of prestige, it's the defamation of character, the denigration of the family name. Oh my God, I'm not upholding the integrity and the legacy of the family. The loss of income. Normally, the shamed character means a loss of image. You can also say that, loss of image. Loss of image. Means a loss of image, and you'll be shunned by friends, shunned by clients, ridiculed from your family. You can become depressed. You fear shame because it shows your failure. Oh my God. And this is a real, these are energies that, truly exist within us. And they exist within us all. We all have these frequencies, Mm-hmm. They're there within us, whether we're experiencing them in the moment or not. We're all experiencing this, we're all harboring these frequencies of shame and blame. And until we can actually recognize them and talk about them a little bit and bring them to the fore, it's like an artist's palette being hid underneath a blanket, and she has to choose from them without seeing them. She says, I think that might be the one.
You have to look.
You have to look and see the color, and you have to be able to mix those colors properly together in order to create a great canvas. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say, I mean, you really are the artist there. You have to be able to know what your colors are. And these qualities, these frequencies of the dual human ego are really much like the colors on an artist's palette.
Yes, and sometimes the lighting above throws off different colors, so that the color you paint, after you go into the sunlight, because the sunlight reveals all.
That's an interesting concept. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Because people can fool you by putting on a different act, a different color.
Yes.
It doesn't show their real character until they're revealed.
And and that makes me. And then the last idea of the Enlightenment with Squares process is to actually find a light, like Robbie is saying, that will shine on all of the quadrants. What kind of light would you like to shine on this square, this Enlightenment with Squares process? What kind of light would you like to see? And so that's the quality that we choose out of Samadhi. Samadhi is a vast sphere. It has all sorts of qualities of love and joy and wisdom and power and forgiveness and humility and frankness and truthfulness. All of those different qualities shine through Samadhi. And we can choose one that we can stand in that will light this canvas that we're going to paint on with the qualities with the dual human ego colors of shame and blame. It's all in there. Shame and blame make up part of the canvas of the human experience. And so we choose a quality of Samadhi, and let's put it on the screen, a quality of Samadhi that brings reconciliation to this pair of opposites of the dual human ego. And what we came up with about a minute before the broadcast began was confessions of truth, almighty truth. So we can write truth in the middle of our squares. This is really therapeutic to write it down with your hand. It's also nice to share it online, so do both if you can. But you write it down with your hand, and then you draw this spiral that has the quality of seeing all of the squares at once through the agency of this neutral witness quality called truth. And then you can see, I'll show you here online, Robbie's beautiful handwriting. And
yikes.
And here it is. This is how you fill it in. And by going through this practice, this is a practice. This is a yoga. What we've done today is like doing a twisted tree and holding your consciousness, holding your balance while you put yourself in a position that is ready to be imbalanced. By putting yourself in a twist, let's just look at that for a moment. When you actually do a twisted tree, I'm going to do one right here.
He's really good.
I'm going to try. This is my left leg. It's not as strong. And I twist my leg around, and let's see if I can get it done here. Let's do the right leg. It's better. Twist it around. You bring up the leg that's standing out. You bring up the arm, right arm, and then you twist it around. And you bend down, and then you hold. The whole body wants to fall off. You're already in an imbalanced situation here. We're already standing imbalanced. This is like the dual human ego. This is like one square of the dual human ego. But we're determined to hold the neutral witness and watch and see what's happening throughout the entire body. We become more aware of all of our legs, all of the quadrants of the dual human ego by standing here. This is a physical yoga which actually has a resonance with what we're doing with the squares process. It allows us to look very specifically at an imbalanced position and then to bring balance to it by finding its opposite position on the opposite side and seeing how it works on the opposite side as well. Same thing that we're doing with the physical body, we do with the Enlightenment with Squares process. And Barbara writes, cognitive dissonance. Yes. We find out all about the opposites, this dissonance. And as we see it, as we find out more about it, we're able to use it more readily.
So true.
It's a really awesome process. We've done this Enlightenment with Squares a little bit today. I encourage you to find the website, which is linked on our Samadhi Game Tribe and on my website from the broadcast link, and play with it a little bit, and also use your artistic abilities, and along with Marlena here,
Yeah, she just
whose ear you see right here.
She just raised up. No, wait, now she's
she
turning
goes.
around.
She goes.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Lay down, buddy. She's our pal. Wait, no, now she's turning around
She's
anyway.
turning around. So, but use your artistic ability to draw this out for yourself. And if you can do this a couple times of the week at least, and maybe come back and leave the paper on your kitchen table. Let's go ahead and leave this on the kitchen table today.
Yes, please.
And as we're having lunch and as we're having dinner, we can, if something comes up and we say, hey, we can come in here and you can write in. You can just keep filling in spaces that are free. You can write a little bit more here and a little bit more here, and you can keep adding to your understanding of the palette of the dual human ego, so that it becomes your friend rather than your foe. Actually, that's a good duality right there, friend and foe.
Yikes. What's in between? What's in between a friend and foe?
A friend and
foe
foe
is understanding?
moderator, understanding. Moderator who understands, a neutral witness who sees all things. A mediator, Christ, a Krishna. So many different things you can say.
No, between a friend and foe, you have to be
Impartial.
You have to understand
dispassionate?
both sides of the argument. You piss off a friend, then you have to realize what you did to that friend as her or as him. And then you have to realize, gosh, I wouldn't want that happen to me. What is the thing? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you? Mm-hmm. Is that the neutral witness?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, there you go. Let's move.
So let's go now. Let's go to Samadhi Game. Let's actually do a few mantras to help balance some of this energy that we've been dealing with. Because when we start dealing, I'll tell you this, when we start working with the dual human ego, we're dealing with it's the shadow. It's the hungry ghost, the headless shadow.
Nobody likes to be guilty.
No,
Nobody.
It's the fly in the ointment, which, is the muck to our process of enlightenment. So let's go ahead and go. I'm going to take us to Samadhi Game. Enlightenment with Squares process, neutral witnessing. And we're going to give this mantra. This is the beginning that sort of sketches it out very clearly. We'll just we'll re-understand it by saying it together. So let's go ahead and say it together. O presence of a shining void, eternity, Himalaya and mighty victory, that I am. I hereby recognize the issue of blame as one pole of the dual human ego that is presently up for my understanding and transmutation. And I choose to process this blame along with its opposite pole of duality of shame. By witnessing this wheel of karma and all the sub-frequencies I have chosen of attraction and repulsion that have brought it into my existence, from the place of neutrality and reconciliation that identify as truth. Take from me every state of mind, emotion, and outer experience, manifesting as all possible patterns of the dual human ego consciousness, including the desire for and the fear of blame, and the desire for and the fear of its opposite, shame. And then I go on in this part of the manifesto to explain Square's process, which you can come back to if you'd like to. And we'll go ahead and continue the reading right here. clear and reconcile all the varied frequencies of fear and desire, making up this perfect square pattern of dual human ego consciousness, finding that balanced and ascended quality of perfect samadhi, including truth, that I may see more clearly and find my way home more easily. In great gratitude I give thanks, knowing that it is done. Transmute and bring forth out of every dual human ego condition in my experience that miracle, joy, mastery, victory, and truth. I claim that samadhi of conscious balance, awareness, attainment, perfection, and truth as the only governing presence in my mind, my body, my feeling world, and every particle of my spiritual, sexual, social, recreational, romantic, personal, family, domicile, dietary, health, medical, career, financial, business, political, and legal affairs, and the affairs of every person seeking enlightenment throughout America and the world. America, let's say Croatia too. America, Croatia, and the world. No matter what my outer circumstance, this perfect state of samadhi is my truth, and there is my attention, my allegiance. As the joyous I am, sorry, this computer's running a little funny today. As the joyous I am samadhi of truth, I hold all these conditions of the dual human ego consciousness, including the fear and desire of blame and shame, purified, beautified, reconciled, and free from the wheel of karma, that the full glory of truth may pour forth and bless all mankind with whom I come in contact, especially, and here you can name those loved ones and even your enemies. Mm-hmm. As the neutral witness, this Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, Monarch, Divine Mother, Father, Sun Conscious Awareness that I am, I awaken to, take responsibility for, recognize dispassionately, and enjoy all phases of the wheel of karma within the world of my immediate self and its reflection in others. I discipline myself to love. And so, when we enter into this second chapter of Samadhi Game, there is a definite work that we do in order to ferret out these subfrequencies. You have to really be aware of these colors and combinations of the dual human ego so that you can use them appropriately. There's a payoff in each of these quadrants. You see that there's a payoff there. We're actually wanting it for a reason. And rather than just letting it run us unconsciously, we become conscious administrators of all of these colors of the dual human ego. And
yeah, but it depends on which payoff you want to keep. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be in isolation? Do you want to have forgiveness? Do you want to be hated? Do you want to stay in flux? No. You do the dual human ego, no, you do the neutral witness, and you look at these qualities, and then out of this is just your personal. This is not the enemy. This is not the person that you're in flux with. So, out of this truth, then you offer up, forgiveness?
Yes.
And
always.
If the other person isn't in the same state of neutral witness that you are, you're going to have to do a whole new square. Waiting and
patiently
want.
Waiting and want.
Mm-hmm. Because you really want the other person to come to the board with you, come to the table with you, and say, "Let's work this out." As if a mediator is there, but you already did it inside, and the other person isn't at that place. So patiently wait, because want could push somebody. You can want, and then you can knock them off their chair, and then what? They broke their head. Mm-hmm. And then what? You're never even going to be able to forgive. So, waiting is best, because, even in police, when they have the answer, they walk out of the room. And the person gets to soul seek. So I guess separation is the key to forgiveness for a while.
Well, forgiveness, I mean, eventually.
Not forgiveness, but understanding.
Understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, understanding will come, and especially as we hold the hologram of forgiveness and love and joy and peace and truth and all of the qualities of the samadhi neutral witness that we know we are in our depth. As we hold to that, eventually everything, the road will rise up before not only us, but all of our friends, our loved ones, our relatives, all of those that hold enmity towards us, eventually will be brought into the spiral of truth that we determine to live within. Barbara is saying, have a great day. Great day to you too, Barbara. I know you are off to work, and thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate that. We're going to be just doing a few more mantras, and then we're going to be tying up too, because we've got to get off to work today too. So, the mediator and acceptance, we love you, and we love all those who are joining us on Samadhi Game today. What I'd like to do is, before we go, I'd like to draw us in, because this is tough work. I'd like to actually invoke the presence of great beings that have walked the same path before us. Great beings both that had bodies on this planet with us, whether it be Jesus, Buddha, or Muhammad, or any of the great Francis, or Saint Teresa of Lisieux, or any of those great beings that we know, Joan of Arc, all of them who have held an image of truth, perspective on all of the flux that goes on in this planet. One of them is that I like to call to was Archangel Michael. By calling to these great beings, we accept them into our lives. We give them leave to inspire us. It's like we walk into a room and there's a great picture of Archangel Michael. A beautiful, large, full-size image of him, maybe a statue of him. The reason people have drawn that image, that picture, that statue, is that it reminds them of who they really are. They see it and they start to accept, this is how I can live. This is how I can be. And so in a like way, we draw that image with our words. We remind ourselves of this great being who can be here with us now. And that's why we say these mantras to other beings, these little invocations that you find throughout Samadhi Game, to other beings, because it draws to us, that perfection that they knew.
And this year is a 2013, which is 20 plus 13 is 33, and Archangel Michael's walk master number was 33.
33.
So we can use him this year as our protector.
There's one way of seeing 33. You take 20 plus 13, it's 33. I saw another way too. It's I know it's silly, but I saw you say 2, 0, 1, 3. So you just add the 2 and the 1, of course, you get 3, and then you're left with 33. So,
Because you can't break down the 33 into a 6, though, so it has to stay 33.
That's the numerologist's creed. Thank you for bringing a little bit of numerology to us as well.
Well, the whole universe is broken down into numbers. The Fibonacci code is a numbers. So how can anyone deny? You can deny. I mean, you really can't deny astrology either, because the stars are above us. But the numbers are what our body, the water, the universe are all come down to one number. So let's not push aside the numbers of the years, although man created that.
I love them. I love the number 8. I love the number 11 and 22.
And 33 is this year. Let's go.
Let's go.
And 2013 backwards says Eros.
Oh, yes. Eros. Eros and Amora, the Elohim of love. I love that. This is the year of love.
Understanding and miracles.
Let's all live that way. Let's call to Archangel Michael, not only as an archangel that we know as this tough guy with a sword cutting us free from demons and discarnates, but of this archangel who has so much love in his heart that he's able to lift us out of duality into that perfection that we really are. Let's go ahead and go and call as Archangel Michael. As Archangel Michael and Archei Faith, the all-powerful mighty I Am Samadhi, that I am, I am the active power and supreme authority of Samadhi in my world. I am the context, the Samadhi that is decisive. I release the blue lightning of 10,000 suns right now. I sweep into all astral and psychic opposition and human conditions of duality in my world, including the fear and the desire of blame and shame. And I dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile them right now in truth. I take command of all appearances of imperfection and unreality in my world. I blaze the full power and samadhi of rainbow lightning in, through, and around all seeming obstacles and opposition to the instantaneous manifestation of each and every inner and outer intention, meditation, prayer, rosary, puja, bhajan, mantra, fiat, and affirmation I shall make today an absolute truth, the Dharma. And you can see this is peace. We call for peace. Let's go on and continue with this call to the garments of immortality, which are really a continuing of the call to Archangel Michael and all these other masters that we'll name here in this preamble. O discriminating I am Samadhi that I am, as I am in concert with the ascended Claire de Lys, Lanello, Sir Lafelate, and Yogananda, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and Hans Baba, I invoke the presence of Archangel Michael and Faith, Elohim, Hercules, and Purity, Eros and Amora, Sanatka, El Moria, and the Goddess of Light. I manifest the full gathered momentum of the new blue lightning of Holy Will, the cosmic circle and sword of Kali and Astrea, the diamond sword Excalibur, and the regalia of Archangel Michael, the lords of Karma, the lords of the 9 planets, the Navagrahas, and legions of the elegant one and central sun. I go forth with almighty protection, divine intercession and direction. I am the answer to these, my inner intentions and outer calls. O majestic Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, Monarch, Divine Mother, Father, Sun Conscious Awareness, that I am. And then we continue on. Adorn me. Sorry, this computer's running a little funny today. Adorn me with garments of immortality, the luster of reality, be it my decree. This, the hour of victory, manifesting as truth, the love light of wisdom and power, or its impasses are the fears and the desires of blame and shame. Jupiter's helmet and shield of faith, to winged sandals of Mercury, Saturn's sacred spear of transfiguration, Mars' flaming sword of discrimination, Venusian angels' benefaction, around me purposes purity, Sun's solar armor bright, reconciling lunar duality, I am impeccability tight, intentions stream in banners, triumphs trumpets play, forward mighty legions of light into the karmic axis of hungry ghosts, headless shadows fray. Engage the field of transmutation, magnify I am reconciliation, ere the dual human ego mastered, victory's unity, enlightenment, ruling the day. So I want to just thank everyone for coming today and joining us in this processing session. It's been good. It's been work. It is the hard work that we need to do in order to come to grips with the dual human ego. It's what we do when we practice the scales of the piano. We practice those scales until we become familiar with them. Then we can very clearly reach to each note that we need to reach to at the right time, in the right place, to create a harmony, a resonance, a quality of the neutral witness with each touching of the keys, so that what comes out of a tonal spectrum of duality is unity, harmony, wisdom, truth, samadhi. So that's what we're doing with Samadhi Game. We're invoking that on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 o'clock for music and 8:30 for the processing. We'll do some more processing Monday and Wednesday of next week too. We'll start off this year right, and we'll give some energy to the hard work that we need to do so that the rest of the year can go smoothly, real smoothly into the victory at the very end.
But remember, every day the sun comes up.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I'm going to look to Facebook to see your mantra as the sun comes up too. I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to leave you with, I'm going to actually take us back again if I can find it here. Let me find it here for you. I want to take us back to the song that we opened with today. Let me see if I can find it. If you just have a little bit of patience with me here. I think I can find it. Bob, there it is. Let's bring it up.
Oh, you're doing this again?
I'm going to do this song again.
Oh, okay. This is a song because there's so many girl singers out there that are just, pooping on their boyfriends that they. And
so
this girl
recently, Tumblr mentioned that maybe someone who dated Taylor Swift should sing a song called "Maybe You're the Problem." So this song goes out to Taylor and Adele and every other female artist on the radio who won't do anything but write breakup songs, and every other female artist on the radio that won't do anything, or that isn't on the radio that won't do anything but write breakup songs, like myself. I have written far too many breakup songs, and I am ready to break the habit. So I wrote this song called "Maybe You're the Problem," and yeah, I'm gonna play it for you. It's on ukulele right now, but I don't think it's gonna end up being on ukulele. I don't know. I just used ukulele to write it, so it's a little out of my range too. I might have to retune this, but I just wanted to let you know this is happening. You dated one too many assholes. You keep saying all men are the same. Been cheated on by every single boyfriend, running around trying to put someone else to blame. You say you couldn't imagine the outcome, never possibly be this way. You wear your heart on your Facebook, it's no wonder it's so easy to break. But little girl, I've got something to say. Honey, maybe you're the problem, maybe you're the issue. Maybe if you didn't just press repeat, you'd wind up needing fewer tissues. You're the wrong girl, you can't just solve men. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. You've dated one too many douchebags, God, you sure know how to pick your poison. Maybe if you paid attention to where you're going, you would learn to make better choices. You say you can't predict the future, you don't have a crystal ball. Can't imagine spending my life with such a fucking know-it-all. If you walk around with a full of your eyes, you're bound to trip and fall. Honey, maybe you're the problem, maybe you're the issue. Maybe if you didn't just press repeat, you'd wind up needing fewer tissues. You're the wrong girl, you can't just solve men. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. I've been there, I've made mistakes, I've fallen in love with people I hate, pretentious dicks that stand me up. But here's to having better luck. Oh, honey. Maybe you're the problem, maybe you're the issue. Maybe if you didn't just press repeat, you'd wind up needing fewer tissues. You're the wrong girl, you can't just solve men. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. Honey, it's a hard world, hard world, hard world. Maybe you're the problem. So yeah, there's the song. Hooray! Probably looked like I had soulless computer eyes the whole time because my computer is reflecting in my glasses. So here's to soulless computer eyes. And yes, hope you guys have a good day.